find out I've been rocking all this old gear.
Hello, what's up? Hey. Hi guys. Hello everyone. So good to see you all. Yes. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Okay, I feel like I'm on to right now. Hey. Let's see. Hold on real quick. Still trying to pin this freaking tweet. There we go. Boom. We pinned it. What's up? Hi everyone. Ow. Okay, we have Reggie coming in. Let's see. Oh, she here?
Ow!
Oh my gosh, you're so thoughtful playing the J. Cole.
You peace, what's up, sis? Yes.
How'd you know?
Girl, because I know. First off, hello.
Hi.
Yes. First, when did you go blonde, boo? I love it.
I don't know. In person, I wish it looked this blonde, but something is like, I don't know what it is about this lighting. It's making me look super blonde, but I don't look like this in person. You like it though?
Okay, I love it. Yes. And I had to play the Cole because I'm a fan. You're a fan. I've been a fan. I did my math and I was like, damn, I've been a Cole fan for like 11 years. It's been a long time coming.
He's an OG now.
He is. And I'm like, wow, yes. So I had to pay respect, sis. Yes.
So thoughtful. This is off to a great start.
I got you, right? Yes, energy. Yes. Okay, let's get into it because we only have an hour. And I know we're going to get into this hour. So I'm just here for it all. So I'm just going to do a cute little introduction for anyone who has never come to Soul Sister Network before. Welcome. This is Soul Sister Network. We are a network for women of color, all about manifestation, healing, connection, and authenticity. What's up? All for the vibes. And this is a platform for women of color to see themselves in other women and get inspired so we can all manifest together and create our best lives, right? So this is Reggie.
Hello.
I'm going to let her give her full introduction.
Me?
Yes, but I want to tell people how we know each other. So I met Regina in college. We both went to Syracuse, and I've known her for a minute. She's a couple years younger than me, but I have always respected her hustle. Always. And in a past life, I mentioned this, I used to work in the entertainment industry, which you guys know is a really hard industry to get into. And Reggie would always come to me asking me for the tea, asking me for insight. And I was like, I rock with it. I flex with it. And then I would see her manifesting her life as she went. And I was like, we don't have to talk about manifesting because I know sis manifests by the way that you move, by the things that you say. For sure.
I was going to bring that up. I don't know if you remember. I actually did this because, you know, although I'm the one being like interviewed, I guess, but obviously like I'm an interviewer. So like, I'm an interviewer, so like off habit, I had to like do my research and stuff. And like I went back today on our message thread on Instagram.
Oh my God.
I hit you up back in like something crazy, like 2016 or something. And I was like, hi, I was on LinkedIn and I saw you worked at like, I forgot where, Rock Nation or something.
Yeah.
And I was asking you for advice. And you were just so, obviously, because everybody knows, you're so kind. You were giving me all this like tea. And I was like, and you didn't even know me. So like right from the start, you were so helpful, so like so open to like helping like younger people, and like just I was like, wow, she's been a real one. Like, yeah.
Yes, and that's why I fucks with you. Because here's the real tea. Not everybody who hops in my DMs gets a response. I'm really big on the way people come to me, and you have to do, so you know this, in entertainment, like everybody wants a handout, everybody wants to get in. So for me to like sit and like write out all of these things, I'm like, I gotta feel your energy through the phone. And I felt your energy off rip. And I was like, I can tell she's passionate about it. I know she's into it. And sometimes my policy is like, people sometimes just need a chance. You don't need like a huge thing. Sometimes you just need one person to give you insight or one internship. And then that just breaks the mold. So real recognizes real, sis. I see you.
Oh, wait. So, okay. So a little about myself. I don't know.
Yes.
I'm so bad at this. But okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Regina Cho. I'm a music journalist, proudly repping Jersey, you know,
Okay, Jersey.
I'm 24 years old, and like I would say definitely my focus is, you know, like hip hop, R&B, and I would say my favorite thing to do are artist interviews, like help them spread, you know, what was the meaning behind your album, like how did it feel in the studio, like all that good stuff. What's your message? Like using my talents as like a communicator and as like a wordsmith to help them get their inspirational story out. So like let's say a random like kid producer in like I don't know like Dakota or something like reads it, hopefully they're inspired. That's what I just think about with every piece that I put out. And yeah, as of right now, like this situation that we're in has definitely slowed down the entertainment industry, but I'm finding a lot of joy in like, you know, doing stuff like this. And so yeah, I've been keeping busy.
Yes, I love it. Let's go. Okay, I see people hitting us with the goat emojis already. I feel it. Yes, come on. Yes, get into it. Yes, so before I start my questions, I want to let everyone know that if you want to ask Reggie a question, send it through the questions little tab at the bottom, and I'll pull it up, and then we'll get into it. We'll have a cute little Q&A towards the end.
Yay.
But let's get into it. You know why we're here, boo. We're here to talk about manifestation. Let's go. How did you first find out about manifestation?
So I was thinking about this, and I was like, I feel like manifesting things in my life, like it was never like a moment like, okay, I'm gonna start doing this. Like it was like ever since I was young, the way that I would think is like manifesting things into my life. And that's just like the way I feel like my brain has been wired, like speak things into existence, like go get it, make things happen for yourself. But like the first time I would say, I feel like you already know when I say it, you're already gonna know what I'm gonna say. So the first time I knew there was like a phrase to this practice was like The Secret. So,
yes, all the real ones. No, that's everyone's starting point.
No. But the thing is, I didn't read it. It was just around that craze. I don't know if people like watching remember. Like it was literally like a craze. Like when that book dropped, like everyone was like, "Read this book. It's changing my life." Like so. I remember my dad read it, and he told me like he was literally like, it changed my life. Like and I remember seeing like I forgot what it was, a commercial or a promo video for it, and it was literally like, do you want to be a millionaire? Like here is how you can make yourself. And me as a youngin, I was like, what? And then that was obviously saying like law of attraction and all of that. So honestly, I'm a fake. I've never read it, but that's when I learned like there's a word for it, and there's a word for like what this all means. And manifestation is just beautiful, and like that's how you make things happen for yourself. And it's good that like it's good that like we talk about it, because then it's like, oh, this is what we're doing, so let's make ourselves better at this. Let's learn more about it, learn more tools. Now that we can Google like manifestation technique, like stuff like that. So
yes, I love it. I love it all already. You're not a fake. Not everybody has read The Secret. There are so many books about manifestation that people are like, this is like a staple. And I'm like, I haven't read it. But I feel you. I mean, The Secret, it's not. I tell people that if you're trying to get into manifestation, it's a good place to start, because at least it gives you the basics. But if you talk to enough people who have read The Secret, you've read The Secret, basically.
Right. I feel like that's what happened to me.
Yeah, like most of it is just examples over and over and over again of how it's worked for other people. But you get the basics. So yes. So I'm curious, how do you like quote unquote manifest? Do you I've seen some of your tweets that you brought back before, like writing stuff out, like like, oh yeah, watch in 5 years I'm gonna be here, watch. So are you do you manifest on Twitter? Do you write it down? Do you like get inspiration from other people? Do you read books? Like what does that look like for you?
I definitely think that the easiest way to put it into words is that, well, like I'm a person who I basically am basing my career off of, well, I hope I'm good with words. I think I'm good with words, because that's what like
yes, you are. You're a journalist.
Yeah, like, so like speaking things into existence and writing them down. And like Twitter is funny because I know, I mean, it doesn't really help the fact that I'm like super young too, and that I'm like saying Twitter and social media, but like I feel like that's an ongoing, not like joke, but like an ongoing thing that like my friends have like known me for. Is like, I'm glad you brought it up, because I was gonna bring it up anyways, but I'm known for I'm known for like I say something on Twitter like and then like I just like bring it back like a year later, like it happened, and then like it's like 300 likes or whatever. That's happened like 10 times, and
a couple of times.
Yeah, but I feel like that is a form of manifestation because
it is.
All jokes aside, I know it's like Twitter jokes, retweets, but I feel like it works because when I like tweet those things, I'm not just relying on like, okay, I tweeted it, I spoke it into existence. That's not it. Like it's like when I say those things, I really believe that's gonna happen to me. Like let's say one example that I have is, I don't know if you know YB and Corday. He's like this like rapper. Yeah. He was real hot last year, and people knew
he really
was like my favorite. And so I had like this one tweet when I was like, I can't wait to interview him. Like it wasn't like, oh, I wish this would happen. It was like, I just can't wait till it happens. Like you guys will see.
I love that.
And then like a month later, I retweeted it with a picture of him, with me and him, and the link to the article. And like, but it just works because like I just knew it was coming. Like I feel like manifestation works when like you just know it's for you. Like you're not wishing for these things to happen. You're just like, oh, I'm gonna get there one day. So like when you speak those things and like you know it's gonna happen, and like that's the energy that you're bringing into like when you say it. I feel like that's why those things work for me. When I like tweet about internships that I want, and then a year later I retweeted like, got it. Like so when I say that, like I tweeted those things initially knowing that like I deserve it. So like that's why I feel like it matters with the energy that you put into it.
Yes, I love that. First off, the comments are going crazy. People are like, yes, sis. I saw someone say ask, believe, receive. What's up? That's from The Secret, y'all. Get into it. But one thing I liked about what you said is you were talking about you having no doubt. How do you, when like you're manifesting, I mean, like everyone kind of gets nervous, but when you think about stuff, do you kind of feel like yourself getting blocked off a little bit from fear, or is it you're so aligned that you know it's for you already? Does that make sense?
I don't know if like this is gonna contradict any type of like thing like in the manifesting world, but like it's like I feel like I'm so comfortable with how like if something doesn't work out, it wasn't supposed to. And that's why I'm super comfortable with rejection. I'm super comfortable with like things not working out. Oh, okay. Like this is a great.
I love that.
So winter 2017, there was this really big program. I don't know if you know, actually, it was like through Newhouse. There's this program of like going to the Winter Olympics or something. Wait.
Yes.
I don't know if it's 2017.
I feel like
I might be like messing.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but it was through Syracuse, and like it was during that 1 month winter break that college students had, and I was like, this is gonna be amazing. Like I could just picture myself, because my dad also does like he's worked at the Olympics. I'm like, this is me following in his footsteps. Oh my god.
Yes.
Like and so I was like, this is perfect for me. No, but it didn't work out. But something went wrong. It was something really minor, and that's why it hurt more, because it was like, damn, if I submitted this in time, it would have happened. But so it doesn't mean no. So since that didn't work out, that same winter was the winter that I got my first Billboard opportunity, and it came super last minute. I don't know if you know Kemet. He went to Q's. He was there when I got the email.
Yeah,
it was literally out of nowhere, like, hey, like come in the office, and I was just like, oh my god. And so if I was out in, I don't know what country the Olympics was at that year, but if I was there, I would have never gotten my first big break. Like I would have been too busy pretending to care about sports, like something that I wasn't even going to work in. And then that winter was when like I was thrown into like what I'm doing now. Like literally the first week I touched down back in New York City, like it was like the Def Jam anniversary party. It was like this huge release party, and the coworkers were like, come with us, and like I was just thrown into the entertainment world. So if that didn't happen, and like I have a bunch of stories like that where like one thing didn't happen and then like another greater thing happened. So now that I truly believe that when things don't work out, they really like roll off my shoulder, and it's like, girl, like you thought you were manifesting this, but it wasn't meant to happen anyway. So just like and that goes to show with like not just career things. I know most of what like I could give examples with is like career things, but in terms of like, you know, like men, friendships, like stuff like that, like if it doesn't work out, something better is coming, and I'm just like super comfortable with that. So I feel like that's what like really helps me as well.
I love that, because for me, you're hitting on so many good things, because I feel like for me, the hardest part about me manifesting in the beginning is like, I feel like a lot of the times when people talk about manifesting, they do it in a way that's like, if you do it right, what you want is going to happen no matter what. Right. And it took me a while to realize that sometimes what you want isn't even the best circumstance for you.
You think you
And
want that.
you think you want something, but then, you know, I'm religious also. So to me personally, God and like the universe, you know, and manifesting, it's all kind of tied.
Definitely.
So, you know, they say when like God's rejection is like his protection.
Your protection.
Exactly. Yes, a real one knows. But that's so true, because you think that you want something, but just like you were saying, like going to the Olympics and working at the Olympics is like a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I'm sure at the time it felt like, dang, that sucks. But then you got the real opportunity that you were waiting for, which was your break at Billboard. So had you been so focused on just one outcome and not given the universe space and understood that, you know, as life happens, like sometimes you're not going to get what you want, but something better will come along. I love that so much. And I think that's something for me. You guys listed in the comments if you struggle with it too. But for me, that was one of the biggest things that I feel like I had to learn when I was manifesting.
What, like that, when you, what you thought you wanted didn't happen? Like you're saying, like, it didn't work?
Like, Or sometimes you feel like all signs are pointing to one thing. Like all signs might be pointing to like one relationship in particular or one job in particular. And then you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, like, all right, cool. Like, I love this. Let me sit down and manifest this and write it out and focus on it and think about it. But then when the time comes, everything falls apart and you're just kind of like, well, dang, I thought that was like
I thought it was
the point of manifestation. I was doing it right. I was journaling. I was praying at the same time. God, what's up? But then you give it a little bit of time and you're like, oh, okay, that's why it didn't work out. Yes. Hitting on good stuff already, Reggie. Yes. Ow. So I do this every time, but just so people know, anytime someone comes on, I give like a cute little mini, hey, these are like the questions I can ask you. And the main thing that we're going to talk about is like one or two things that Reggie has like manifested, like top to bottom, like something that you were just like, when you finished it, you were like, damn, I did that shit. What's one thing that you've manifested? And like take us through the process, the ups, the downs, the is it gonna happen, is it not gonna happen?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I have a couple of questions, but we can save it to the end because I've seen some dope stuff that you manifested and I was like, how?
Thank you. So, oh my gosh, I hate, because I know I just went on a rant about my fire tweets. No, I'm kidding. So there's just this one,
fire though.
There's just one that like sticks out to me, and it's on my profile because it was just so like, what? So back in 2015, how old was I? don't even know how old I was. That was like first year in college, like just getting used to things.
Freshman, because I was a junior.
I was like really just seriously taking it. That was when I don't even think we started Mixtape Magazine at that point. I was just really getting just my feet wet. And so it bothers me that I can't look up this actual tweet. I know I didn't delete it. I have no reason to delete it, but I just can't find it. But I have a screenshot of it. I said, I was like, it said, I'm calling it now. I'm gonna, by the age 25, I'm gonna have my name in a Billboard magazine, like, and then within
I saw that tweet. Didn't you bring it back or screenshot it or something like that?
Yeah, I only have a screenshot of it. I wish I could like retweet it and then it'd go crazy. But then yeah, I don't have it anymore. I don't know why. But within, like, my favorite part of it was like within that same breath in that tweet, I was like, it may seem far-fetched to some people because 25 is still very young, especially as a journalist. But I said, like, but I believe in myself. Like, set the bar high. I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to hustle. I'm going to do it. And then, lo and behold, like, before I even hit 23, like, I was in Billboard twice. Like, and I just, like, I didn't remember it. I didn't remember I said that until I was lurking on myself and, like, found that screenshot. It's just, I don't know. It was just, like, and the interviews themselves, they're tiny. They're not cover stories. They're, like, it was with Joey Badass, and then the other one was with YK Osiris. I don't know, like, but they were tiny, but it's just like seeing your name like in a physical magazine, it just hits really different because physical magazines are forever. And I used to like literally like read these magazines when I was younger. And I guess like just the story of like being a journalist in general is kind of something that was really unsure. Like, I don't know if it was like you've heard it, but like people like growing up are always like, don't be a journalist. Like the digital era, like anybody could be a journalist. They could start a blog. So that in itself was very something I manifested, I feel like, because like I felt like there wasn't even a place for me here. So like that is another like part of it. But then focusing more on this like little story is like yeah, just like looking back and being like, yo, I did that. But also, well, I don't know if I already mentioned this when we were talking about it earlier. It's not just like I didn't just tweet it and be like, oh, job done, like I spoke it into existence. It's like you have to like just believe it's gonna happen. Like you have to like believe it in your soul that it's for you. Like you just really have to just like believe in yourself. And like I feel like I really felt it in myself that like I'm gonna achieve this one day. Like it's not a goal, it's a destination. Like it's gonna happen for me. So and then I guess God made it happen earlier than planned. Because I'm not even like 25 yet now. So that was just a really proud moment for me. And like in Syracuse, like well, I'm super introverted. Like I don't like people in my space. So like nobody really has seen my room in Q's, but I had like so many Billboard magazines up on my walls. Like I would just look at them and like, and then now it's like where I'm at now. So it was just super cool. So I like that. I love that.
I didn't even think about that because your wall was covered. I remember you posted it like almost floor to ceiling and like Billboard magazine covers, which is funny because it's really like a huge wall of a vision board when you think about it.
I read your other, I mean not read, I watched your other interviews in this series, and like they all had like vision boards, and like I was like, I don't do that, but like
but you really do when you think about it, because your wall was a big vision board. You surrounded yourself with everything.
Even right
that you
now,
want.
like
exactly. I'm like, what's up? Okay, background.
True.
I just want to flag somebody in the comments said don't downplay you were in Billboard, and I'm like, yes, like sis, like you were saying like, oh, it was a little feature here or a little feature there. Honey, everybody had to start from somewhere. And like you said, you're only 23, so who knows? In like 2 or 3 more years, like who's to say, Reggie? Who's to say where you're gonna be? This is dope. So follow-up question for you, for anyone out there who is also manifesting something big, right? Because to be in Billboard, it's a really cute manifestation for a lot of people, but it's a big manifestation because not everybody is going to get into Billboard, right? Like not every journalist is going to get to a place like that. So for anyone else out there who has like a really big goal, something that might seem not unattainable, but something that's like, okay, to get here, I'm going to have to work hard. What advice can you give them to break down that goal to make it like digestible? Does that make sense?
So the way that I approach really big goals is like, I don't know, I'm sorry, I think I said this like 3 times already, but like
repeat it.
So I don't see, I mean, I still call them goals because that's what they are, but like I don't see them as like, oh, my dreams, like my goals, my wishes, they're my destination. So I'm gonna get there someday. So like once you switch your mindset to that, you're gonna get there. It's a destination. Like you want to be the biggest movie star, that's your destination. You might get there when you're 48, but you still got there. So first off, approaching it, once you approach it with that mindset, boom, like the easy part of it is done because you're at peace. Like one day, I'm gonna like, that's gonna be me one day. So then just the best advice, like there's no secret, like there really isn't, like even though the book was titled The Secret, like you just have to do the work. Like I have no I don't know, I don't have any like tips or like specific tricks or anything like that. Like you just really have to put in that work. Like I don't have any like shortcuts, because also every little good phase or project that you finish, like people are watching. You never know who's gonna be talking about you in this big corporate office and be like, oh, did you see that thing that Regina did? Like it was dope. And like I have no idea he's talking about me, but he or she is talking about me. And like stuff like that is gonna like snowball and then help you reach that big goal. So you just have to do all like the little things, no shortcuts. Like I don't have I'm sorry, guys. I don't have any like.
No,
more
you have
advice
the
than
tea.
that. Like,
The advice that you're giving is that there are no shortcuts, and sometimes that's what it is. That is the advice, that you have to put your head down and do the hard work. Like for me to get into the music industry behind the scenes and get into music business, that was the tea. The tea was that you just had to work really hard. Like you got to network really hard, and you got to want it. And then a big part about manifesting things sometimes for me is letting people know that you want something. And I think that's the power in you tweeting things out, right? Just because you never know who'll see that tweet, or you never know if I'm talking to people at a party and I'm like, oh yeah, my goal is to work at Rock Nation or Cash Money. Who knows who I'm going to be talking to? So Nisha actually in the last Master Manifestors we had gave everyone the advice of, not being afraid to ask for what you want. And I love that. And to me, in the sense,
not being too prideful.
Yeah, don't be too prideful, because to me, in the sense, your tweets are really the same thing. It's just in a different way. Like you're not going to one-on-one people telling them, hey, this is what I want to do, but you're putting it out into the ether in the world, saying, this is what I do. This is my goal. And then you do such a good job of self-promoting too.
Oh, I have a especially self-promoting. I have like a little story about that. First, like don't be like shameful of like self-promoting, because as long as you're not like overdoing it, be proud of your work. Like tweet out that music video, like be like, hey, listen to this, guys. Like I put a lot of work into it. Please listen to it. Don't be shy. But the little kind of thing that happened recently that you said, like letting people know and like putting that energy out there, like I can't even count how many opportunities have come across in my email and in person, because like I just show so much. Like I'm a very like excited person. Like if I like something, I'm like hitting my whole group chat, listen to this, like, and like bothering them to like so I don't know if you know the singer Giveon. Do you know Giveon? He's on Chicago Freestyle with Drake. Like he's one of my favorite new-ish upcoming singers. And I would just be like talking about him to anybody that would listen. So just by me doing that, and this is an example of something that has happened like multiple times throughout the years, but this is just the most recent one. Just by me talking about that, not even just being like, oh, my goal is to interview him. Not even with that energy. I was just showing him love. I was like, guys, listen to the song. And then he signed to Epic. Somebody not in Epic, but somebody that works with Epic hit me up like, hey, like, do you want to like work with him? Like, do you want to like interview him or write something for us? Like, so it's just just by you showing that genuine love and support, people are going to catch on, and like people are going to be talking about you behind closed doors, and like hopefully it's good things, because hopefully you're showing love. But just you never know who's listening. So always be proud. Like, and also I listened to your conversation, the last one, about like letting people know what you want, and I think that's a thin line, because like just my boundary with it is like either I'm showing love and like just doing it that way, but then I also tend to not like announce things like prematurely. Like I feel like I kind of share my accomplishments when my signature is like on the dotted line and it's like done, or else you might be blocking your blessings by like bragging like prematurely. So I definitely agree with what you guys said, because I do that, but then that's my only boundary as well. I don't know, because I do that too. But yeah, that's
I feel like it is sometimes, because it's a thin line. Like, let us know in the comments, guys. Do you tell, when you're manifesting and you're trying to get something, do you tell people or you keep it to yourself? And for me, I think it depends. Like,
because I agree with like when you're saying tell people.
But like you said, it's a fine line. Like, I want to be vocal enough to let people help me if they can help me, but I don't want, like you were saying, block my blessings. Or not that I think that the entire world is like plotting against you, but you just never know who might have some bad vibes to throw on top of what you're manifesting. So I'm like, for the most part, I keep my stuff to myself, but I will share it with like my circle of friends, and everything else for me is about like discernment. Like, I feel like a lot of the times if I'm getting a gut feeling and I'm like, okay, tell this person, I will, just because I feel like I can vibe with someone and feel their energy. But if I'm unsure, I don't share. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because it does make sense, because it's like closed mouths like don't get fed. So if like you're not talking about like
Mm-hmm.
the type of things that you want to do, like maybe a stranger will hit you up with an opportunity to be like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, I saw you talking about this, like you want to do this project for me. If you
Yep.
keep your mouth shut, you won't get those interactions. But then also if you keep your mouth too open, it's like a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people could just know your idea. I don't know. It is a thin line, but
Exactly.
you just use
Exactly.
your judgment, I guess.
Yes. We have a couple of questions.
Oh my gosh. Wait, it's
Ow, we
getting
got
dark. It's getting dark. I don't know if I'm gonna mess up all my lighting. Is this
no,
too
you good,
bright?
girl. No, I see the highlight. What's up? Hold on, let's see. Choose this one. Taylor Pelton said, sorry, Tyler said, do you ever find yourself comparing your journey to others? And if you do, how do you overcome that? I love this
Oh, that's a
question. This is such a
oh my
good
god, I
question.
have such a good answer
Especially,
for this.
hold on, pause. I just want to let me set the scene because in the age, first off, we were just talking about social media. In the age of social media, like social media low key will have you giving a side eye to your friends sometimes. I find myself, I'm like, look, I'm not here to compare myself to other people, but it's so hard not to when you might be wanting a man and it seems like everybody on the TL is booed up. You know, it's so hard. So get into it. Come on, Reggie. Give it. I'm ready to go to church.
Okay. So, I don't think. Oh my gosh, just it's like it was just like I wanted to talk about this, but I forgot, and then now this beautiful question came up. Okay, so the way
Boom.
that I see it is comparing myself. Comparison is a thief of joy. So obviously,
Yep.
just like people know that, but the way that
Mm-hmm.
I think about it when you shouldn't compare is when it turns competitive. Like for me, I know a lot of people think differently about this, but I don't really care. This is what works for me. I don't see anything as a competition. I know competition brings out the best in you. I know that, yada yada yada. But for me, what has worked the best for me is showing support, uplifting people with me. Like even if there's like a girl who looks like exactly like me is also an artist interviewer, like I'm not gonna see her as my competition because you're not me. Like I'm not you. Like we're not gonna do the same thing. We're not gonna do the same work. So if I miss the opportunity because I'm busy, I'm gonna hand it off to her. I don't care. Like, so that is what has worked for me. That's why I don't compare, because at the end of the day, we're never gonna be the same people. I'm not gonna be you. Like anybody on this earth. Like there's no competition. Oh my god, this is so corny, but there's no competition but yourself. So
it's facts though. It took me a long time to kind of grasp that, because at first, not that I was comparing myself with other people, but it's just so hard not to, you know, like I feel like everything in social media is like comparing all the time, whether I think about it or not. And I realized for me, it was like unconscious, me comparing like my timing and my blessings to other
especially as you
people.
get older, like
Yep. And I'm like, dang. And you know, I'm from North Carolina. I'm from a really small town. Like everyone down south, I don't know anyone else who's from down south, but down south, it's like I'm 26, y'all. So everyone down south who's my age that I graduated with is married, has kids, are homeowners, and it's like, damn, okay, like I live in the city, I live in an apartment. Granted, I'm in the career I want, but it's so easy to see other people's journeys and get sidetracked by where you think you should be. But I love what you said about it not being a competition. And for me, that helped me out a lot, because I'm like, you know what? The more I remind myself it's not a competition. And like you were saying in the beginning, what's for you is going to be for you regardless. So it doesn't even matter. So I'm like, you know what? Now that I've grasped that, it's easy for me to do what you were talking about. It's easy for me to be like, okay, it's a girl who looks exactly like me, doing exactly what I want to do. But you know what? Big ups to you, boo. And we can go further together than we can apart. And that's what I'm grasping onto now. So yes,
but,
to the T.
The only time I kind of not compare but draw inspiration from is when, you know, like when I lose little steam or like inspiration. And what I used to do a lot is I look up interviews of like people I admire and who are living the not lifestyle, like career goals, I guess. And still not comparing too much, because don't base your life just based on theirs. You're completely different.
Yep,
But
it's gonna be very different.
sometimes like I love watching like Elliot Wilson's like a great journalist, like Angie Martinez. Angie Martinez, somebody that everybody knows. But she would do interviews like of her journey, and like let's say when she was 23 years old, she was like, this is not exact, but let's say for example, like she's telling a story about how like she's sitting in this radio station at 23 years old working the overnight shift and like da 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 da. Like that was her life at 23 years old. And I love thinking about how like this is like I'm gonna tell that story one day in like 10 years. So this is just my journey right now. Like don't rush it. Like I just love thinking about that. So not comparing myself to her, but just reminding myself like, oh, this is your like what she's talking about there. I'm living through it right now. Like this is my young stage, like where I'm like working those hard overnight news shifts and stuff like that. So that's something I love doing.
I love
when I
that.
lose a little inspiration.
I do the same thing, girl. You are not alone. It's so easy to go and like look up people who are walking the path that you want to walk, because then to me, I get insight, I get inspiration. Just like you said, you were listening to Angie Martinez and it's like, okay, that's dope because she's at the destination that I want to get to, what you were saying before. So it's like, if I know she's there already, it'll, for me, when I watch videos, I don't necessarily look at it as like a how-to, like this is exactly what I need to do to get there. I look at it as kind of like a confirmation that their journey worked out and they got to their destination and I can do the same, you know? And similar to what you were saying, like, it also can be like a motivation to be like, okay, when somebody's interviewing me in 10 years about this, this is how I'm going to answer this question. This is how, you know, I'm going to vibe out. This is hopefully how things align and work out for me. So I love that. Yes. I think we have a couple other questions that come in. Come on. Yes. Oh, okay. We got another one. This is from Maddie Mad Maz. It says, as an Asian American woman, I would love to know more about how your background has positively impacted your experience in the music industry.
Ooh. So
a good one.
When I'm asked this question, like I really do feel like as an Asian American woman, like who's working in like mostly hip hop and R&B, which is music created by Black people. Like as like I work in that, like when people ask me this, I'm like, I do think I bring like a new perspective and all that. Like I do feel like there's not many people who look like me and all that stuff. Like that's the stuff that comes to mind. But then like the more important part of it is like not really focusing on like me is me. Whenever I think about this, it's just me being grateful that I was even given the chance to do this and that I'm even like let into these rooms. Like, because this is not my culture to, like, take ownership of at all. Like, it's, like, me helping, me knowing my role and, like, me knowing what I'm there to do is what I mentioned in the beginning. Like, my passion is helping to tell other people, like, helping people tell their stories and, like, using my skills to do so, my reach to do so. So, like, always keeping that in mind and, like, being grateful that I could be here in the first place and giving credit where credit is due. And knowing that I wouldn't even have all this good music to listen to if it weren't for Black people anyway. So just always keeping that in mind. So like, while I do want to rep for my people and like, while I do want to do that, I think what's more important is what I just said. So keeping that in mind.
Yes, come on with that Miss America answer.
Oh my God, was it political? I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't political, girl. It was everything. I'm like, yes, that's how you should answer the question. Yes, because I expect that's like with anything in life, you got to pay homage to the people that did it before you, and just put on for the people that look like you. That's just kind of, you know, standard, and I'm here for it. And that was such a good question, Maddie. Thank you so much for sending that. Let's see, we have a couple more. This is a music journalist specific one, but just so we can get this into, it says, what's the best way to practice and evolve in being a music journalist and practicing your writing without going to school? That's a good question. Career question.
I think the best way to practice is like, even if you don't have that opportunity that you think you need, like you have to just like do it yourself. Like I started off in high school on this like, well, I didn't make the blog, but it was basically just a blog that nobody read. Like no one would know like what, even I don't remember the website name, but I would just like put my homework aside and like put like do like little album reviews and stuff like that. And like when I built up those clips, even though it wasn't even like a website name that people would know, I would tweet them out. I would like gather them and like send them off to like people, be like, hey, look, I can write, like, can you give me a chance? So like the best way to practice is just to practice, and like eventually you'll build up enough clips to where like a smaller site will give you a chance, and then you build up, and it's gonna be like building blocks, and like it's gonna snowball. So you just have to go for it. It's like when people say like, oh, how do I start a YouTube channel? You just make videos, like go
you
for it.
You make them.
Yeah, do it on your iPhone, like just do it. Like, and I know, practice your writing without going to school. I know a lot of people who don't have like journalism degrees and like are highly respected. Same. So don't let that be your defining factor either.
Yeah, I love that. And to me, what you're saying can be applied to anybody who's looking to go into any career, even outside of journalism, or launch anything, because the key is to just do it. Like, I remember when I wanted to start Soul Sister Network, at first I had like all these excuses of why I couldn't do something, you know, nerves and fear coming, chewing me out, all this kind of stuff. And then someone gave me the advice, it's like, the best thing you can do is just start, like, just do it. You know what I mean? Like, what's the worst that can happen? Like, you're not gonna die. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? It's not like a life or death situation, sis. Just put something out there. And I love that, which is exactly what I took from what you said. So yes, thank you.
And I also love how you said, what's the worst that could happen? Because that's also what I like, that's what like carries me through too. Because if you really think about it, like, and I guess it relates to this question, because like, don't be scared, because like the worst that can happen when you cold email these like publications, when you email these professionals or shoot your shot or whatever, like the worst thing that can happen is like, so 3 things can happen. They could either say no, hopefully they say it in a polite way, and that's not like, that's not terrible. Like, it may sting a little if people aren't used to like rejection and stuff, but like honestly, it's not that bad. It's just a no. Like, it's not gonna like define you. And then second thing that can happen is they just ignore you, which is okay, just pretend it didn't happen.
All right, exactly.
And then the third thing that can happen is a great opportunity comes up and they say yes, and like they put you on board and stuff. So you just have to go for it. So just know exactly what you just said. Like, what's the worst that can happen?
Exactly. And then another thing that helps me out is when I'm thinking about going for opportunities that kind of feel far off, is I think about it in the sense of when I am reaching out to these people and doing like this cold call or cold email thing, because for me, I work like full-time in brand partnerships. So brand partnerships is just me consistently reaching out to a bunch of people that like I've never met before. Like, hey, give me money. I have this project. You should come on. And of course, I'm like, okay. So like you said, sometimes people will respond, sometimes they won't. But like, even if they don't respond, or even if you don't get a no, that doesn't put you back behind where you started. When I started thinking about it like that, I was like, okay, so nothing is going to deter me from like where I am right now. So if I send this cold email out and I don't have any money, I send it and I get a no, or I send it and I don't get a response, guess what? I'm still at the point where I don't have any money. So like, you know, or it might be a chance that I will get money. So it's like, when you break it down into really, really simple and simplistic ideas, it literally is like nothing to it. So yes, sis, if you want to be a writer and a journalist,
if you do it in a polite and good way, it will never hurt you.
That's true. It will never hurt you. Exactly. Polite. That's a really good point. Because when you're cold emailing and calling people, you can't come at them crazy. And then if you just don't get a response the first time, just, you know, politely follow up, but don't no one hit you back.
Like me pulling up in your DMs in 2016.
Yes, but that's the thing. You never know. I have so many people that I've met and connected with just because they slid in my DMs asking for advice, and I was like, yeah, sure, why not? You know, and I have gotten so many opportunities in my career just from sliding into people's DMs and being like, hey, like even this, like, you know, I just ended up sliding into a bunch of people that I know, their DM or their text message, like, yo, you want to do this? And either they were going to say yes, or either they were going to say no. And you said yes. Hey, Al. Yeah, okay, let's see. Thank you for that question. Okay, we're going to wrap. How is it already 8:45? I knew this was going to happen. I knew we were going to get into it.
8:45.
It's 8:45, sis, and this thing shuts off at 9. And every
and it
time
just
I've been real tight. It flowed, yes.
Well,
yes.
By the
okay,
way,
so
like, you are doing a great job, because you're basically like interviewing mad people, and it's always been just like a good conversation. So like, shout out to you.
Thank you, Reggie. I appreciate it, especially from a music journalist. I'm like, hey, what's up, Al? Okay, so here's a question that I want to know personally, because I thought you were gonna touch on it, but you didn't, which I'm fine with. It's fine. Rihanna,
I knew you were gonna
get there because you're playing with me. It's 8:45. Like, I'm like, how did she not bring this up? Y'all, actually kind of tight. So can we get into it?
I feel like people are just sick of hearing me talking about this.
I'm not.
So what happened was,
yes.
she's just the queen, like, you know. So obviously this is something that probably, I don't want to speak for every music journalist, but I feel like people want to check this off their list. So
for sure.
It's safe to say. So what had happened was I was sent to, and I feel like, side note, like I feel like my editor at that time was like kind of like getting the sense that like, oh, Regina's really good at like events. Like I like sending her to events because like she knows how to talk to people. She could go alone and flourish. Like, so because of her personality, like that's what it's like good for. So he sent me to cover. Do I have it? You know when Rihanna dropped her huge book, like the
What was the name of the book?
It was at like a museum. And it was like the release party. I mean, she's Rihanna, so like we didn't know if she was gonna show up. Like I was initially sent to just cover it, like do like a recap article or whatever. But then you know what you gotta do? Like you gotta pull up, you gotta shoot your shot. Like I see her, she pulls up, and I'm like, I don't even know if I was supposed to be on the carpet. Like I was just like, I'm staying here. I don't care. I'm staying here. I'm gonna try to talk to her. And then she's going like to all the different outlets, like to just one question each. And then I just stayed there. I was like, nope, I'm not giving up this opportunity. Like I don't care if like I'm nervous, like I'm gonna just do it. I'm never gonna get this opportunity again. I don't ever let the nerves get to me because I'm just like, I'm here now, like I have to do it. So I quickly thought of a few questions, and when she stepped in front of me, I was like, like because she's just so beautiful. Like that's the reason I wasn't nervous about the interview. I was just nervous because she's so beautiful. But when she stepped in front of me, like I guess that's how I could tie it back into this conversation, like a sign that I'm on the right path. Because like when I've said this plenty of times before, but like when she like stepped in front of me, one of the biggest stars in the world is in front of me, and I'm just like, boom, like I just went into work mode. I was like, oh, so what's up? Like, how are you doing? Like, how'd you feel about the book? Like, it was so easy. Like, just a conversation that just flowed. Like she was not that she's like average, but it was just like I was meant to talk to her, and so I didn't like freeze up, no nothing. So just proving to myself that I could handle that with ease. Who knows? Like I don't know what I can't handle now. Like if it's like I was like talking about it. I'm like, guys, like what's next for me now? And people were joking like, oh, Beyonce. And I'm like, I know I could do it now. Like I know I could do it. If that opportunity presents itself, I feel like I'm ready. So I feel like that's like a little sign on my little journey that like I'm doing like what I'm supposed to be doing. So that was a great experience. I'm so thankful. I definitely got a good flex in like the little video that I have of us doing it, and like so it was great.
Yes, I love it. We love to see it. And you touched on something that I just want to flag for people. It's like, for me, when I got a little bit more aligned with what I felt like God and the universe were telling me I was supposed to do, it was really easy. And it seems like that, granted, that doesn't mean that you won't have hard moments, but things just kind of flow. Like similar to you said she stepped in front of you and you didn't even think that you can, do it at the time, but it just was like, boom, and you went into work mode. Anytime I feel like I get into vibes like that, that's how I know
it's
when God and the universe, when it's like telling me this is what I'm supposed to be doing. And even if this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing forever, this is pushing me in the direction that I'm supposed to go, because it's easy. Anytime it's like a big barrier to entry for me, or I'm getting a lot of pushback, that's just reminding me that, like, because I'm religious, I believe that when God is in the midst of something, it's super easy. It comes to you in a way that's just like, here you go. The conversations flow, the ideas flow, the confidence flows. And I think that's one thing I admire about you the most is your confidence. But I feel like it comes because you know that you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing.
Oh my gosh, that was so nice.
You're welcome.
I really feel that, because when it's really meant to be, it shouldn't be hard. Like it shouldn't be. I mean, the struggles do make you stronger and better, but I feel like those moments, like you should, like it should be easy. Like people say that all the time about relationships, and like I don't know, because like I feel like fights show that you care, but then they always say like when you find that right one, like it shouldn't be hard. Like it should just work. Like what you said, like it should just work, and you should feel like this is what it was supposed to be.
Yeah. No, I feel like every time I get on this live, I end up talking about my relationship, and I low-key think he might be watching. But no,
he better
honestly,
be supporting. What?
I'll support your woman. No, but for real, that's kind of how it was for me. Like with my relationship now, it's so easy, and I had never had like an easy relationship. So easy, girl. Like it's just kind of like, is something wrong? It's this easy, you know? But before this, I was in a long relationship, just constant fighting, constant arguing, and that's what I thought it was supposed to be. And then when I got in this relationship, I was like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, people always say that. They're like,
yeah,
this
and
is
now
what it's
I'm like, oh, got it. But that's the same thing for career-wise. Like, now I'm getting into Soul Sister Network and launching this, and now I'm like, oh, this is what it's supposed to feel like. It's not supposed to feel like I'm up all night, stressed out, I'm crying, I'm like going back and forth. Should I not? Should I stay in this job? Should I not? It shouldn't be like that. It should be, not effortless, but natural. That's a good word.
You should not be forcing it.
Exactly. I love that. Yes. Dang. Okay. So ended off with this. I know. I looked at the clock. I'm like, what? Okay. Last question. What's the best advice that you feel like you can give someone about manifesting?
I feel like manifesting, a lot of people think of it as like they equate it with like, speak into existence. And like when you see people like posting captions or like saying it to their friends, like, speak into existence, girl. And it's like, yes, that is, of course, that is part of it. But it's like, the job is not done there. Like you do speak into existence. Yes, like write it in your notes or be like me and tweet it. but the work is not done there. The real work is like really feeling it and like believing it's for you, doing the work that it takes to get there. Like what I was saying about like how it's a destination, not just your goal or wish. It is a destination, but the work that you're gonna put in to get there, that's up to you. So that's really the hard part about, not the hard part, but like the work of manifestation. And my advice would be to like, just don't forget that. Don't just make it a speak into existence thing, and just always keep in mind that at the end of the day, it's still up to you.
Yep, I love that. Yes. Okay, and then last question, actually, someone in the comments followed up and said, and the best advice you've been given. I love that.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if it's advice. Oh yeah, it is because it's like kind of like a, not a command, but it's like a action. I don't know. So my favorite quote / lyric or something that has gotten me through everything is, of course it's a J. Cole lyric. Sorry guys, but it's it's keep grinding, boy. Your life can change in 1 year. Cause it's like you really never know when your moment is coming. Like just that one line has carried me through so much. Cause it's like my 2018 and half of like 2018 kind of was like a really bad year for me because the post-grad depression, oh my goodness. But like that was really bad for me. But then once you keep telling yourself like keep grinding, your life can change in 1 year, it really carries you through, and be like your moment is coming. That one life-changing email is coming. If you're like a rapper, that one hit is coming. Like, so that's definitely my favorite advice, just to keep going.
Yes, we love to see it. We love to hear it. And we ended it and started it with Cole. I'm so proud.
Oh my gosh, it's like we planned this.
It is like we planned this. Have you interviewed Cole? No, but
no,
I know
but
he's on the list.
He's
on the list. It is coming.
I know it's coming.
And
I just know.
And you get a +1.
Of course. Now that this interview is so like poetic, because it started with Cole, it ended with this, and like of course you're gonna be my +1.
Yes, what's up? We're speaking it into existence, y'all. Reggie, thank you so much. You're a bad bitch. I respect it. This was great. I got so many jewels. People have been pressing the hearts the entire time. I feel like in my side of the screen has just been like the whole time. Yes.
What does that even like do? Is it just like a like?
I think it's like a like, but it's really just so the hearts can come up to be like, I hear you, sis. Or at least At least that's what I use it for. I'm like, let me press this 17 times.
And like this was really like, I feel like I've gotten a chance to like say everything I want to say at like one point or another. Like it really just like the opportunity came up to like be like, oh, this story. So like I feel so good after this. I'm like, I'm not walking away from it being like, oh my gosh, I wish I said this. Like this was very fulfilling. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. This was fulfilling for me too. And we don't talk enough, so we're gonna change that, Reggie. So anything that you want to plug in the last couple of minutes that we're here, anything people should be on the lookout for from you, any article that you just put out that you're proud about, what's up? Give us the tea.
This goes back to like, do I share too early? Or so I'm very thankful for like all the outlets I work with and stuff, but I've always, like, my friends know that like my goal is to have like my own, you know, like show or site or something. I feel like I have like the personality for it, like where I could carry like my own interviews and stuff. So just remember this conversation. Like I really like I have like ideas, and I'm just trying to find the right things to like the right, you know, like videographers and like stuff like that. So just remember this conversation, guys. My own thing is coming. So just be on the lookout for that.
Write it down. I'm here for it. I'm gonna support. I'm gonna watch, whatever. Yes. All right. So we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much, Reggie, for coming.
I'm sad.
Yes, I know. I could do this all night long. I live for this. I love this shit.
What if like interviewing is like your passion, like your hidden
low key? That's what I was saying. I didn't even realize that like I liked interviewing people, like in the spirit of just being open about manifesting. I didn't even realize I liked doing this until I started doing it, and now I'm like, is interviewing people like where I'm headed? Who knows? But I'm just letting the universe lead me there, Reggie. But you said it. I did it. I'm just saying, like, you know, yes. I'm like, Jane Hong said, let me produce it. Yes, honey. She is the producing tea. Honey, let's get into it, honey. She's Will and Jada Smith's producer. Have her up here. I bet you. Yes, honey. Like, let's just put it out there. Yes, Jane, produce. But yes, so we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for coming. Anyone who isn't following Soul Sister Network, please follow us and shout us out. I'm going to repost this. Be sure to like and comment. This is going to be on YouTube too. So like, comment, and subscribe.
I can't wait to like do a little like, you know how after sports games they do like a little highlight reel? I can't wait to like do one of this and like flex with it. Like,
flex sis. Yep, I'll send you the whole thing in your email. What's up? I'm gonna do a highlight reel tomorrow too, so you can repost that. But yes, guys, thank you so much for coming. It means a lot. This was dope, Reggie. My vibes are like so high.
Me too.
I'm about to go and like dance to J. Cole for probably like an hour in my apartment alone. So yes. So I'm gonna end it here. But thank you guys. Love you guys. Reggie, you the best.
Thank you so much for this.
Yes, thank you. And I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye, y'all.